Same for all restaurants across the board. Thanks for joining us for Fox 4 News at 9. I'm Scott Kilberry.
I'm Bria Love. Fox 4's Jacob Kaufman joins us live in Brookside tonight. So Jacob, how did restaurants do during the world's biggest stage?
Yeah, that's right, guys. There's no doubt about it that Kansas City greatly benefited from the World Cup, and a lot of businesses did as well. But that's not to say that every single one had a huge impact. While it was originally thought the World Cup would have a huge economic impact in the restaurant industry, that didn't end up being the case for all establishments. According to the Missouri Restaurant Association, nearly 6 out of 10 businesses actually had a negative experience while the world's largest tournament was in town.
If you were kind of along the Fan Fest route or the travel route or even the depot stations where they took you to the games, you did pretty well. If you were in the outskirts, in the Crossroads or Westport or off the beaten path, probably didn't do as well.
While bar and grills like Charlie Hooper's and Lou's had an overall positive experience from the World Cup, General Manager George Clark says the overall impact wasn't as high as it was originally made out to be.
The group stage games were pretty lackluster. I thought we'd have a little bit more crowd-wise. Overall, we had a good month, and there's definitely a lot of soccer fans that came through here, but not as much as like they kind of maybe touted it.
While you would think World Cup traffic would bring in more business for restaurants, it actually ended up being a double-edged sword, resulting in locals wanting to stay away from the expected larger crowds.
I think some of the hype that we had, that all the people were going to come to Kansas City, kind of scared the hometown people a little bit, that I don't want to get out in all those crowds. And so some of them stayed at home and didn't go out to the restaurants and the bars.
For Clark, he says the challenge for them was getting people not from the Kansas City area to check out what they have to offer.
Anybody from different countries, or even somebody coming in from Omaha or something like that. I think it's a lot harder to get an out of town person to come into a small local neighborhood spot that is privately owned.
George tells me that he believes Charlie Hooper's had a slightly better business than Lou's during the World Cup, but both him and Buddy tell me that overall that the World Cup had a positive impact because it helped put Kansas City on the map. Scott, Bria.
All right, Jacob Kaufman reporting live for us. Thank you.